Smash time. All right, what's up, my friends? Welcome. Still in LA. It's Friday morning. And big ups to Nicole for doing a video yesterday. I've been really busy doing stuff like not only when I've been working, but in my off hours and stuff too. So couldn't get a video in yesterday, and Nicole came in with the rescue. But so big thanks to her. But yeah, we're playing some more Magic here, and this is a deck that at Broken Lung posted on Twitter. So they were crushing the queues with it, and it looks very interesting. We've got a green Stompy deck here, Keen-Eyed Curator, Frenzied Baloth, most importantly, Hemosymbic Mite, so doubling all your pump spells. This is kind of like almost a standard infect deck where you're trying to double all your stuff, play your huge pump spells, actual factual giant growth, Tifa's Limit Break, which will also double your damage when played for the extra abilities. So really trying to get in for a huge shot, kind of circumvent the the Vivi stuff that's going on and just go for the big kill. Royal Treatment for protection, and then a couple of talents here. Innkeeper's talent, very well known from being good in the Mice deck, but I actually like Hunter's talent. I play this card a little bit in various decks, it's pretty nice. And then Surrak is great here too, as a good thing to have against people playing removal spells. So Sideboard has some bounce, actually a lot of bounce spells on it. 4-mana deck Flood Maw, 2 Sideboard bounce off. But yeah, Sentinels, Mutations, Curiosities. Deck just looked kind of sweet, so we're going to give it a little spin here, and we're going to see how it feels. Brought to you by my sponsors, because I don't have any slides over here, so let's battle. All right, let's do this. We battling. Bring it on. Again, appreciate everyone's support while I've been gone, and I've been traveling a lot this year. A lot more than planned, when I felt the Pro Tour, I was kind of like, oh, all right, that's kind of cool. I'll have more time to get content stuff done back at home, and I'll be traveling less. And between commentary and these Riot gigs, I've been traveling a lot. So I appreciate your patience. We're going to mulligan. We got a one-lander. No big deal. I mean, we're going to keep dump a Verge. One really awkward thing for this deck is that this Verge taps for blue on the base. But basic planes go. All right. Give me a Mite. Give me a Mite and rock and roll. These game sounds aren't too loud, are they? The arena game sounds with headphones on are pretty real. There's like music and like some cool ambient sounds and stuff. Secluded Starforge, come on down. Good morning, Jim. I mean, we're just gonna attack. So leave up Royal Treatment, play a tap land. Hopefully they go for like a get lost something here. Battle menu. All right, that's kind of funny. Well, I don't know what the hell they're playing, but we're in. No fish for you. We're just going to pay 2 life and say go. Going to hold up treatment or giant growth. Getting the Mite done. Oh, I love the breeding pool sound effect. That's good stuff. That hits. Hits me right in the zergs. All right, so here is a carrot cake, which is actually kind of annoying. Like, that means we got to end step treatment or Mite. Just get the counter on it. This seems like a pretty damn hard matchup if they are like, a sweeper heavy white control deck. That being said, they missed a land drop, so that's good for us. I mean, next turn we have an absolute ton of damage. Play Surrak and say go. Next turn we can giant growth the Mite, and that's like a double giant growth on both. So we attack for 5 and 7, which is not lethal. But so they probably should have upkeep, crack the carrot cake to scry. That's how you can tell who's been around the block for a while, And of course, folks, visit the follow button, subscribe, leave a comment, leave a like, support the content. If you like what I'm doing here, want to see me succeed, the more support I get, the better. So we got Spider-Man's set review coming up. It's going to be live on stream on Monday. It'll be on YouTube immediately after on Monday. I'm waiting for the arena cards to release before I do the whole set review. Battle menu. I draw a card. Sure. All right. I mean, both Mites together are pretty nasty. This won't have trample, unfortunately, so they can just jump block it. But you Giant Growth one, it can piggyback off the other, and then piggyback off the other, which is kind of cool. That being said, we're kind of all in here. Here's Enduring Innocence. Yeah, so they have an easy block on this Mite. Yo, bro. So the problem is if we use our Giant Growth to push through for the first time, we have no way to get through on future streets. So, Giant Growth this, attack, this pumps this pumps this. It's actually 10, I'm sorry. I miscounted the... As long as you stack it right, which I guess we'll check our triggers for. So we pump this, get it for 10. They block. They jump block this, block the trampler, and then we're kind of out of stuff to do. We came to game, right? Let's just jam. So this becomes tapped, creature you control. All right, so we're going to Giant Growth. So Giant Growth this. We're going to attack. Man, they do not make this super clear. So we want this one to resolve first. Right, yes, this one resolve first, then this one. So this is a 6, now this is an 11. Jump block this, take 9 as a lifelink. We play a new Mite and just pray on it they don't have a Day of Judgment. Spider-Man release schedule is a little weird. They have the set review happening, or I have a set review on Monday, and then for some reason there's a 2-week lull between the set review, between the full card release and the actual release. So 10 new brews, Bronze to Mythic, and so on and so forth are going to be a little further down the line than usual, which is, you know, it's fine, I guess. It's just a weird little gap, but got to get that set review up. Seam Rip. All right, this is Ward 1. All right. I mean, wait. I'm an idiot. I got an trample. I'm thinking of Monstrous Rage. I don't know, folks. It's been a long week. All right, leave me alone. I don't know what's going on. Now I think we're in some kind of doo-doo here, honestly. There's something going on. It's not Monstrous Rage. They banned that card, Jim, you idiot. All right, well, we're dead. We drew horrendously this game, and that's fine, I suppose. This deck is definitely like an all-in kind of stompy deck. Doesn't really have a particularly great recovery mode. They clearly have Caretaker's talent because they let this guy in play, and they want to play it and copy it. Maybe just waiting for a better spot to block, but spawn more Overlords. Yeah, I think we're just really dead here. Play the Windswept Bastion. We draw another land. All right, I mean, this is at least makes a Mite into a 5/5. Gives it... This has trample. Makes it a 3/3. I mean, that's something. If we were to draw, like, another Giant Growth or something like that, maybe we could use the trample. There is a good natural amount of trample in this deck, which is pretty important when you're playing these pump effects. Oh, man. Seam Rip, unfortunately, is very good against this deck. Alright, we're just going to go to game 2 here. We're not going to be wasting everyone's time. So, not a good matchup. The white deck is pretty good at killing creatures, but we're going to bring in Annul. Is pretty nice. Annul, maybe pick your poison. Into the Flood Maw is not very exciting here. Honestly, Hunter's Talent's not great. Maybe Flood Maw could be a small number. Hunter's Talent seems sketchy. Does give trample, I suppose, but pretty slow. Overprotect is okay. I could see Enduring Curiosity gaming here a little bit. Most of these mutations. A couple counter spells. Got the Overprotect. Annul hits like a good amount of stuff. Yeah, that's pretty good. Honestly, honestly, pick your poison is kind of bad against them. Because they just have a lot of, like, random crap to sacrifice. You know, sacrifice a random Enduring Innocence, or even, like, an Overlord isn't that bad for us. Like the Curiosities. You leave it one Flood Maw. I'm in. On the play. Hand is pretty good, honestly. Turn 1 Mite, turn 2 Annul tap land. Could always just go Mite on 1, or sorry, tap land on 1, Mite Annul on 2. Annul like a Seam Rip or something like that. They mulliganed. So we're in a breeding pool, so I want to have blue up. And play the Mite. And there's your rip. Okay. Sure. I think that Annul has bigger targets in this matchup, so... Oh my god, man. I'm just going to cash in. We're tapping out next turn anyway. If they have a caretaker... Are you kidding me? Is this a joke? Is someone playing a prank on me? What is happening here? All 3 Surraks and no other creatures. But they mulliganed, and if they play a talent this turn, they can't do anything with it. Look, God, I'm so fucking smart. Alright, so... yeah, I mean... Here's Curator, Sego. If Artifact and Instant available. Probably being able to just go land Day of Judgment. You know, that card's pretty good against us. That's a cool sound, too. No, just Carrot Cake. Alright. We got some work to do. Make a rabbit. Scry 1. Yeah. Draw a card. Do you think? Alright, we got 2 types so far. We got Artifact and Instant. And then we have 2 more Surraks in hand, so... Oh, hello. Hello. Little hasty trampoline. Getting in. That's a nice swing. Good beats. We have 2 tramplers, so these chump blocks aren't that bad. I think it double blocked the Baloth, but I think that's just fine. We just can't not really attack here. Frenzied Baloth hasn't seen too much play. Called it my trap card in my set review for green, I believe. I will say big ups to Ryan. So those who don't know, hired a new assistant. Cassidy has moved on from the position. And went through a whole hiring process, and I hired our new goblin lackey. His name is Ryan. And I got to spend some time with him in Orlando. He was just going anyway, so he hung out with me, which was really, really fun. We had to hang out and do some work in person, and then kind of been onboarding him this week. And Ryan's killing it, folks. Ryan's going to be a huge asset to the channel, and you'll be seeing the improvements going forward. He's, you know, I haven't even been home yet to really sit down and like talk to him and stuff, and he's just been killing it in the back end. So looking really exciting. And then we have potentially a few other things down the pipeline that I cannot discuss. Teaser. Also really cool. I just can't not share it. I designed a Earthbound card, and you can't see it. It's right here. Like the whatever the playtest version of it. Yeah, but it's looking like it might make it into the set. I'm not there to be a designer. I'm there to like just help out and playtest and stuff. But it's pretty freaking cool. We were at dinner last night, and Patrick Sullivan gave me a little cheers. It was like, congrats, man. Your first card is pretty freaking cool. So it might not make it into a set. I don't know, obviously, but it seems like they like the idea and stuff, and it's pretty cool to not only come on, man. What are you waiting for? Is there scared of the counterspell? To be a part of the process, but also like actually be a part of the process and have a visual, some direct knowledge that like I made an impact, besides the intangible it's pretty cool. So I'm definitely going to keep this like playtest version of the card when the card actually comes out, whenever it comes out. You know, maybe I'll frame the real card if it's made. I don't know if it's gonna be made or not, but I don't know. It was just cool to pitch an idea and feel like I was involved. I did something, and we're doing something here. We are losing. This guy also naturally having trample is pretty sweet for these like kind of big pumpy decks. You know, been a big player in my Ouroboros decks. Right. Okay. Still pretty bad for us, but that didn't seem necessary. Alright, we're just trading, I guess, and playing another trampler. What more can we do? Alright, never mind. More trample, please. I mean, if we draw an untapped land, we can fire up the Vinestalk, which is pretty sweet. Ay, 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 ay.
So long as we fight, hope cannot die. Strike from the heavens.
Damn, interesting. Oh, come on. I mean, this is a pump spell. What are we gonna do, right? We just can't win otherwise. Just stack. Maybe they screw up and our weirdest giant growth of all time gets them. So they're gonna overblock. Yeah, all right, them overblocking makes it we probably can't win. We can do 3 extra damage. Yeah, we're just all right. Actually, maybe this like allows us to win, because like they just 2 for 4 themselves and we played a trampler. We probably can't win, but whatever. Play on. This thing can make 2 2/2s. Even have Demolition Field for the Vinestalk. Gross. Let's 2 tokens. And draw some cards. You kind of like forget how good this white deck is. It hasn't been particularly good against the top decks in the metagame for the last like few seasons or whatever, but just inherently like a really powerful deck. All right, I believe we're just gonna untap and concede. That is the case. All right, not a very good first match there. But we'll try again, I guess. All right. Sure, I guess. Doing the stompy thing. We got mono red. All right. Big test here. Oh, just kidding. All right. Big test. Can our deck beat Vivi? I should play this first. Because I wanted to bounce. Yeah, right. My bad. FOMO. Discarding a Winter Night Stories. The problem is, what makes this FOMO, this Cauldron deck so good is that they just size up so well. So when you're on the draw against them with a deck like this, like, their creatures are going to be bigger than ours. You know, like, it's kind of gross. Alright, so Curator's very good against them. I'm just going to bail to see if they block. Then I can go Curator, exile the enchantment creature, and get ourselves up to... Sure, that's fine too. Try and get ourselves into 7/7 trample territory. We have talent too. This is a bite, not a fight. So between talent... Oh wow, that's pretty good turn for us. So they do get to flashback their stories before I'm able to eat it, but it takes up their entire turn, which I kind of don't hate. And we draw a Forest. So they did put a Vivi in the bin, so it might just be Curator time. Yeah, they just Curator time. Again, they are sizing up very well. They their bodies are just as big as mine. There's a Tursa, same idea. We could always we're probably gonna Flood Maw the Mako, which is kind of sweet because like Unsummon is basically just a removal spell against this because you reset all the counters. Discard a Profs. That does not put them at Delirium, and thankfully. And they play a land. Alright, so we are going to bounce this back. And now we have the Hunter's Talent to eat the FOMO. And we have our Keen-Eyed Curator available too. Enchantment, Creature, Sorcery. We have Instants. We can't have the big bop if we're looking for it. I think I want to just play talent, kill FOMO. Don't really care about Tursa that much. So you and you get out of town. We attack for a solid 6. With the Graveyard Hate up and ready to roll in Keen-Eyed Curator. We have Overprotect as well. We've got... There we go. So they're going to Furnace. So I think we just protect here rather than try and eat some stuff. I guess if they have Cauldron, then we just get screwed. That's pretty bad, I guess. We just eat FOMO and stories. Or I'm sorry, eat stories and Vivi in response. Yeah, I'm gonna not. They've run a lot of cards already. If they just go Cauldron, we just lose the game. So let's just exile Vivi and exile the other one. We have the Baloth, the Overprotect, and the abilities on this thing to give it like a buff and trample. So getting rid of stories and Vivi is a pretty good exchange. They could have stories first. Not tipsy. That is some statement. No one ever said I'm not tipsy is not tipsy. 9 to 8. We draw Flood Maw. So we're going to pump this up. There's a chance they have a removal spell here. They're going to get blown out. Upgrade. No, thank you. You didn't say the magic word. Fortunately, they go to 1 here, which is not quite 0. So if they do have a way to kill my Baloth on their turn, we might not win, which is kind of sad. This game has gone pretty well for us, all things considered. Steam Core Scholar, you got it. I mean, Unsummon plus Trample is a nice little trick where they think they can block and we get to bounce it and just deal the damage. So, this deck is definitely scrappy. It is a scrappy little deck. Discard Cauldron and Profs. Interesting, because Profs looks pretty good here. Can't bounce your own stuff. Bummer. Alright, and now they're turning the corner pretty quickly. Do we just bounce this Tursa to buy some more time? I think we have to, honestly. I don't know how much better Flood Maw is getting here, and we're looking at an extra, amount of damage. Let me just draw. Alright, well, I mean... This game kind of started great, but that's like another problem with these really scrappy, crappy decks is that, like, if you just draw 7 lands, you probably can't win. Just your classic, like, all 1s and 2s, sock full of quarters aggro deck. They discard 2. Almost a little surprised if they discard the Mako. Like, just playing another body would have been nice here, but... Now Tursa will cast a spell from their graveyard. And it hits the Torch the Tower. It's a good hit. So 4 to 1. There are some haste creatures in my deck. Man. Miss Questing Beast, A really big chunker. That is an untapped land. That is that. Oh my god, that's enough. Wow, that is insane. So we go to 2 life. I'm an idiot. I didn't even need this. Attack with this. Yeah, it doesn't matter. We stack it. So we're going to submit 0 to be a ship. We'll make Terrace at 3/3, and then we'll give us a pump. We now have 6 trample against 5 toughness and they're 1 life. Hello. That was cool. This card is pretty sweet. Pretty sweet creature land. So all right. So against Vivi, we're gonna want what? Annul is pretty good against them, but we do kind of like tap out a lot. I feel like Overprotect isn't awesome. Royal Treatment, Limit Break. I don't know how much I want to actually board. Annul's pretty sweet. That's like mostly all I'm interested in. It's like extra Snakeskin Veil. Yeah, but 2 Annuls. Hunter's Talent, like we do kind of like killing their creatures. Extra pump spells, extra beaters. I think the unsummons are pretty sweet. Maybe Innkeeper's Talent's a little too slow here. I'll show you one of those. I don't know. I'm not sure. Man, this deck does feel a little creature light. I mean, we have the Annul, I guess. All right, I'm gonna keep. We do begrudgingly keep the hand. No 1-drops gas. We draw 1 of our own. It's pretty sweet. So, all right. Here's Siren. And they just, all right, so that sucks. Draw second Annul to really rub it in. This deck only ever plays Cauldron on 2 when they have turn 3, play a looter creature, discard Vivi, and we have no way to really stop that. Unless it's exactly FOMO, which blows, but that I don't think we can not play a 1-drop there. Like, maybe we can not play a 1-drop. It's like pretty... I don't know. I mean, they either cast FOMO or Cauldron. Those are both pretty good null hits. Maybe that was wrong. I don't know. They don't do anything. So that means they have 3s. So that means they 100% have a Vivi and either a Steam Core Scholar or a Tursa. Well, our only play against that is literally just to jam and hope I don't draw a land. That is our only option. So that is what we were going to do. Annul cannot stop Vivi or, either of those 2. So here's Surrak. Great. Well, we draw a card. It's Pawpatch Recruit. I mean, the second they find one, we're in trouble. They're going to exile the creature? Why? Just like save it for a counter later, right? Roaring Furnace. Well, I guess I was wrong. And they kept a somewhat sketchy hand, which is dope. Alright. Pay some life, Pawpatch Recruit, say go. Now we have Flood Maw and a protection spell up and a null, so maybe they should have a super removal heavy hand? I guess that's the case. Oh, we're going to save it. This is our actual only threats, so we'll give them the royal treatment. You're up. Sure. And here's a Profs. This game is going really well for us. It's turn like 5. They haven't put a creature yet. And they're like a super creaturey. Unfortunately, we draw like 11 interactive spells and no threats or action. But I guess. All right, say go. We've got a pretty weird game going here. They're going to attempt to... All right, we got to turn this off. This doesn't even make sense. Like, they're flood mawing the token, but they're adding more power to the board. Okay. You can't annul a room unlock, unfortunately. But sure. I mean, I think that's fine. You draw a card. This is a weird game. Surrak's good draw. All right, get Surrak down. And I think this game's like pretty locked up at this point. I mean, like they just don't have anything. They just kept a super reactive hand, which I think is a really bad idea when you're playing Cauldron. Like the deck is just so good at being proactive. Here's Steam Core Scholar. Okay. That is going to get into the Flood Maw. We can annul a decent amount of their stuff. Yeah, I mean, we just got to leave them on board. They're going to call... Oh, there's a Vivi in there? You know what we say to that, my friends? We say, you didn't say the magic word. That was a weird game, folks. Your mileage may vary, but I had fun. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what kind of data point that is for Vivi, but... All right, so we don't have a ton of time. There's about 2 matches. I'll record tomorrow's video also. But, yeah, I mean, kind of a weird deck. Like, I like decks that are, like, super kind of linearly all in, you know, and it is a pretty sweet little, like, aggro deck. It does feel pretty threat light. There's a lot of kill spells in this format, and, like, you kind of just need to play threats kind of up and down the curve. It's funny because, like, I kind of get why Llanowar Elves is not in this deck because the curve stops at 2, essentially. But... when you think of Pawpatch as a 3-drop, and Surrak and Pawpatch as 3-drops, these are also mana sinks, and you want to leave mana up for, like, you know, a big limit break, or a combination of, like, treatment and giant growth in one turn, or yada, yada, yada. Llanowar Elf starts to look a little better, and it's also just an extra dude that can wear counters and stuff, too. But yeah, kind of a cool deck, pretty unique deck build, which is kind of cool. So what do you think, folks? Let me know in the comments, of course. Like, comment, subscribe, support the content. Here I am in LA in my hotel room, recording a little extra content for y'all while I'm gone, and I'll be flying home tomorrow, actually. So, I love y'all. Like, comment, subscribe, and peace.